Welcome back to Agree to Disagree. And if you're new, welcome to Agree to Disagree. I'm my boy Jay Lloyd, BG, Craig Williams, and we got Pops. All right, man. We're gonna talk about Player of the Week. Dame time, man. He's been spectacular since CJ McCollum has gone out. Got his team at a healthy fourth seed in the Western Conference without CJ McCollum, without Nurkic. Like that's still a dude. No matter what he's done, this whole time he's been in the league, he's been underrated, man. And I always think about something Kobe said. They won the game, but after the conference, in the interview, they were asking about Damian Lillard, and Kobe said it best. He was like, "Man, he said that young bull serious. He's serious." So there's something about Dame, man. He always had that composure. Never really got rattled like that. So a lot of close games too, and these wins. And people talk about it. It's getting a little more notice now. Is his clutch gene, man? Is he this generation's clutchest player? I'm gonna start with you, BG.
Oh man, you gonna let me go first?
This generation's man.
This generation's clutchest player.
Think about Dame.
Man, I love Dame, and I've always respected him. Obviously, one of his coming out party, I guess, would be when he hit that shot against the Rockets. I've always respected his game, but just seeing what he did in the bubble, and like you said, John, he's not fragile at all, man. No. He missed those free throws against the Clippers, came back the next night, dropped 60? I want to say, how many? 50?
50?
Yeah, I can't remember, but he came out and I'm cool. I'm not worried about that. And then I saw this stat on ESPN the other day for this year, man. In the 5-point game with the 5 minutes left, he has 82 points, which is first. He's 63% from the field. He's 58 from the 3-point percent from three-pointer. He's 100% from the free throw line, and he's 12-3. 12-3 in that's first in all. I think they said it was this year. It might be the last couple. I can't remember, but that to me, I mean that's very arguable if he's the clutchest player of this generation. But to me, it's like I always put something besides the stats. It's if obviously everybody says I want the ball, I want the pressure, but then there's guys that if they miss a few game winners or they miss a few shots in the clutch, that ball gets a little bit heavier. But I think with him, it doesn't matter. Like it's I'm gonna get that ball and I'm gonna go, and then if I miss it, cool. I'm gonna come back the next day and I'm gonna do my same job. But he puts the time in, and that's what we stress to the kids as coaches. You got to put the time in, reps, and now he's out there, man. He's in the MVP race from what I've seen on Twitter and ESPN. So I don't know if he's the clutchest of this generation. He's up there. I don't know who else I could put.
I mean, that makes it cloudy.
Well, what do you mean by generation? Like, because obviously he played against Cole. Cole was my generation. I know. Okay, so but then everybody argues LeBron's the clutchest too. It's. I
mean, do you think LeBron's more clutch than Dame?
No, I personally I'm taking Dame. Yes, I think Dame Lillard is.
And for the record, America, he's not saying he'd rather have
exactly
Dame Lillard as his best player than LeBron James. That's not what
before Pops gets on me.
More clutch than LeBron.
Yeah, I read those stats. That was crazy to me, man. You see it, but then when you look into the stats, it's crazy.
And it's not just 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 shots. You know what I'm saying?
It's the last 5 minutes,
3-4 minutes.
Yeah.
His team's struggling. They end up losing the game, but against the Wizards, they were down big at halftime, and he was like 2 for 10, and he came out that second half and brought them all the way back, man. I think he missed about 2 shots. So it's not just clutch as in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's periods where he takes over the game, man. And it's different when everyone knows, like, you're going to shoot the ball. You have the ball. All eyes are on you, and you're still doing what you're doing, man. So,
yeah. And real quick, I'll just add this real quick. I'm not a big analytics guy. I'm more on feel as when I'm coaching. But when I read those stats, that it just pops out even more. Like it backs up everything, right? So, and then too, I remember real quick the game after Kobe passed away, RIP, and they played him, and he came out and he tore the Lakers up. Obviously, the Lakers, obviously the Lakers, it means a little bit something more. They're a little bit, but he said like, like what? How did you feel tonight? He's like, I had to come out and hoop for Kobe. Like that's what Kobe wanted. He wouldn't want me to be out here taking it easy. Like Kobe wanted me to come out and do what I do, and he was tearing them up. So I like the guy, man. He's legit.
Great.
Oh yeah, I mean, keep it short and sweet. Absolutely. Because if it's hard for you to think about somebody else besides Kobe, and it just goes back to shows we talked about. We talked about this a while back. So he's been snubbed and disrespected for so long. He's just developed his armor that can't nobody touch him. I mean, he's been in the West against Curry for so long, all the All-Star snubs. I mean, that's what made him who he is right now. I mean, he's averaging 30 a game. I mean, you can argue MVP right now. I mean, especially what he did last year in the playoffs, man. And the only thing is, we talked about the window being closing quick. Unfortunately for him, being in the West, playing on a team he's playing with, being at his age, that window's definitely closing. And it's unfortunate to see a guy who's been loyal to his team and his organization for so long not go play with another superstar just to get a ring. But at the end, that might hurt him if he never gets one. But at the same time, man, that's one player. If I had to start a team, I would want to get straight up just because of his mentality and his killer instinct, because there's nobody else in the game like him. You can argue Westbrook has that mentality, but he doesn't have the skill. He doesn't have it. So, I mean, cause we're kind of low key doing the same thing the league has done to him for so long. When you really look at the numbers of what he's done, because he hasn't won and he's been under the shadow of Curry for so long, if you really think about it, I mean, he's been clutch for a long time. Dude is nice, man.
Hey, Craig, how tall is he?
5'11", legit.
Go ahead, Pops.
Man, I was saying, man, the league has disrespected this dude for a long time, man. This dude, as a generation right now, he is that. He is clutch. You fear Dame. When he crossed that half court, he's the one dude you fear him because he can hit you with the off the dribble. He can hit you with the layup. He can hit you with
side step
beyond the three. I mean, when that dude turns it on,
he'll turn that corner and dunk on you too, Pop.
I'm telling you, Dame would take off. I'm a Dame fan, and I just hate it because I hate it that maybe somewhere down the line when his career gets older, he'll probably get traded. But if Dame was on trade bait right now, I'm in. I'm in. Just look down the line and see who you want, because that dude, Dame time. Oh man, it's legit. It's legit. I've been impressed with Damian since that shot against Houston. First, I thought it was luck, but when you see him do it like 4 or 5 more times, you go like, okay.
Dude, it's a Paul George.
Yeah, and the bubble really impressed me about Dame. I wasn't, because he said in the interview, he said, like, how did you manage in the bubble? And he was like, man, I just hoop. I wasn't tripping about I'm in the room and I just hoop. He said, it was just hooping to me. And that's why he didn't crack up. That's why it was almost kind of if he don't get hurt, that series might go a little longer with them in the Lakers. If he don't get hurt, he's a problem. He's a problem.
Real quick before Jay goes,
he got hurt when that game was over, though. We gotta point that out.
He's a problem. If he don't get hurt, he's a problem.
Yeah,
but because Pop's brought up the bubble, he's the one that came out and said, if we don't have a chance to play or to get to the playoffs, why would I go? And he got flack for it. And then when they said, all right, you have a chance, he's like, all right. And then he proved it. Like, I came here, you guys gave me a chance to make it to the playoffs. I'm a hoop, and I'm gonna get everything I have. So that earned a lot of respect too.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jay West.
Yeah, Brian, I'm gonna piggyback. This is my tribute to Brian and Craig, because Craig is amazing with the stats. And then I want to piggyback on Brian's stat, which was crazy. But Brian made the stat about the 82 points. on 6-3 field goals. In NBA history, it's only been done twice. Hakeem did it in 97, and KG did it in 2000, where those two players led the NBA in clutch points and clutch field goals. But the scary part about this, he's a guard. Them dudes are playing around.
5'11", Jay.
Huh?
I say he 5'11".
Man.
we give him a half, 5'11" and a half.
It's now, man. It's he's got to be there. He's not going to get the love for it because he hasn't won a championship. But it's not fair to say, because if he's getting blown out in certain games because he doesn't have the talent that the other teams have, then that stat doesn't really play a factor. When he's in close games, he showed that now in the generation we're in, that he's the best player in close games. He just doesn't have enough close. He hasn't had enough meaningful games in the playoffs where they're close to affect those games with those numbers. The series that he's lost, they get blown out. So it's kind of hard to be able to. I think teams know too. Believe that's on the scouting report. We play in Portland. Let's knock them out early. Let's keep a foot on their throat early.
Yep.
Let's keep them at arm's distance so Dame can't affect the game. You think about the game that they beat the Lakers even last year.
That was game one, right?
Yep, the game the Lakers let them stay close. Dame got him. Dame got him. Right? So like it can't be a close game, man. Like you got to keep them at 8 to 15 points with 30 seconds left. We'll take Dame out the game, put the bench players in. Like, because at the end of the day, if it's a 2 or 3 possession game, he's going to impact the game, man. So, and one thing last too that I love that he doesn't get enough credit for, that I think Steph Curry got credit for, is he's changing the way the game is played. The shots that he takes, the way he takes those shots, I've never seen before. Mm-hmm. I've never seen a dude come down. Curry does it in a transition or kind of shifty. Like Dame, it's a little different the way he hits you like off a standstill. Like he's standing still and hit you with a sidestep from 40 feet. Like that is like unbelievable, bro. So I don't think he gets enough credit for that either. Just the way he impacts the game and how he's changed the game based on how he plays as well.
Can I add one quick point to what Jay was saying?
Right.
I think me and Jay talked about this before. That dude he has to put in so much work just for his team to win. And you can only sustain that for so long. You know what I mean? You can only sustain that for so long, especially in the playoffs when you've been doing it all season.
But to touch on that point, Greg, before I give my take, he didn't really have to do that as much this year because CJ was playing out of his mind before he got hurt. He was leading the team in scoring, and it's cool because as good as Dame is, like he ain't really got an ego like that. Like here, CJ, get yours. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, he gonna get buckets, but he's not a pure one, but he's the closest thing to me as a point guard scorer. You know what I mean? I think he does a good job of balancing it. And another thing is, me and Craig talk about this all the time, man. We talk about Steph Curry and his jumper. Dame, he might not shoot as good as Steph, but I think his off the dribble game to the jumper, like Jared said, I think that is so underappreciated. Like it doesn't get enough recognition. And then to start my take, man, I want to kind of touch up on what I mean by clutch moments. So I think Brian brought up a good point. I feel like that's clutch in my eyes. Hey, yo, my team ain't coming to the bubble if we ain't got a chance of making it. Got flagged, said it so everyone can hear it. They got a chance to make the playoffs. Them dudes came in and made the playoffs. Russell Westbrook and Dame, we already know how that rivalry goes. Like Jay said, let it go all the way down to the end of the shot clock. Sidestep from 40, bottom, waves to the dude. Obviously, we know the first one where he
Houston.
the shot against the Rockets. And then this year, the clutchest moment for me is the fact that Nurkic is hurt, CJ McCollum is hurt, and this dude is still willing his team and has his team as the 4th seed in the West. Despite all these teams struggling, man, he still has his team 4th seed, a sweet spot in the middle of the Western Conference with his 2 main dudes out. Like, you have to be a different type of dude, man. So Dame definitely has my respect. And in terms of this generation, man, he's the most clutch player. I can't even think of anyone else that just on a nightly basis just shows how clutch he is, man. But you guys
you think you have something to do with it, John? Remember your little Twitter beef you had with him?
Well, what do you say? We'll see. He's what do you say? We'll see.
Yeah. Okay. John got him going, man.
Hey, you put that chip on the shoulder.
The cool thing about Dame, the one thing I do respect about Dame, don't take days off.
Nope.
You don't hear about Dame doing no load management on it. Dame who?
Yeah.
He loves the game.
Yeah.
A different dude, man, for sure. But thanks for watching, man. Let us know down in the comments if you can think of anyone that is more clutch than Dame. I know some of you gonna say LeBron. I'll respond to that comment with a dispute right away. Some might say KD. I don't think so. The only person I would say you can argue. I would say Kyrie. I still think it's Dame, but when it comes to fourth quarter, Kyrie is known for doing what he does in the fourth quarter. But Dame by far, I'm taking Dame over Kyrie to close my game. But
it's an argument. It's Dame all day.
All day. That's what I just said. I know you don't like me talking about Brooklyn people or anyone that's a threat to the Lakers, but anyways, this is Agree to Disagree, man. Got my boy J. Lloyd, BG, Craig, Pops, and I'm John, man. Until next time, we out.